What if there were Bibles that you needed to throw away and that also can make you millions? Well, today we're going to discover those Bibles. The first Bible that we're talking about, that if you have it on your bookshelf, you need to throw away, is a very old Bible from the year 1631, and its nickname is the Adulterous or Wicked Bible. Who wants to read that? What is the problem with this? Well, in 1631, this guy named Robert Barker comes out with a version, and it omits a teeny little word out of the seventh commandment of do not commit adultery. And instead of reading do not commit adultery, guess what it reads? Thou shalt commit adultery. So 1,000 copies of this Sinner's Bible was circulated until somebody found the mistake, and then we won't never know how many people obeyed it, but we know that it took at 400 years later that there are only 9 copies of the Sinner's Bibles left. But here's the deal: you may want to throw it away and not listen to it, but in 2018. Guess how much this old Bible was sold for at auction? At Sotheby's auction house in 2018, this Sinner's Bible, aka Wicked Bible, was sold for $56,000. So that's like having a book on your bookshelf worth the average yearly salary of an American in the United States. That's how impactful that is. There's also another book that we would like, that you need to throw away, another Bible you need to throw away if you have this on your shelf. And this is not an old Bible, but a new Bible that started out good, but then it went south quick. There was a guy who made a Bible called the Brick Bible. On the cover, it looks harmless. It looks inviting, looks like something that would be great for kids, has all these Lego scenes, but it's called the Brick Bible, a new spin on the Old Testament. And here's the deal, guys. It's written by a guy named Brendan Powell, who is actually an atheist, who's actually come out as a blue-haired transgender. And if you open up and dissect the Brick Bible, here's what you will discover: that it is not a Old Testament, but it is a atheist transgender man who has cut out all of the good of the Old Testament and just kept all of the very difficult, violent, heinous acts in the Old Testament to paint a picture of God as being an angry, vindictive, judgmental, and horrible God. And so if that is in your, and you'll notice on the screen here, there is a picture of a review of the Brick Bible, of somebody who read it, thought it was a good book, and said, look, you need to throw this away. And so that's a new one that you need to throw away. But then also we find that there are grave mistakes in Bible printing, and there are grammar mistakes that can be worth a ton of money. And that this next Bible that we're speaking about, that would be a grammar mistake, and it is called the She Bible. You know, you think about a feminism is in nowadays, but the She Bible was printed a long time ago in 1611, and it is called the She Bible because of one very small misprint in the book of Ruth. In the book of Ruth, reading, she went into the city instead of he went into the city. And this mistake has had it valued at up to, guess what? $65,000. Okay, that's just above the average salary of an American person. So imagine on your bookshelf, if you had a Bible made in 1611 that is worth over your yearly salary. It is mind-boggling. But this is just chunk change compared to the 2 Bibles coming up. The next Bible is not even complete. Like, you don't even have the Old Testament and the New Testament, every page, every book, but it is an incomplete Bible summary created by the Puritans in the colonies of the United States early on. And this book is called the Bay Psalms book. It's a poetic English translation of Psalms led by these Puritan ministers who got together. They translated it Hebrew. They did all this stuff, and they published it in 1640. And it was the first book to ever be published in the United States of America. And at 47, just 47 pages, that's all it is. The entire work is worth, guess, $14 million, with each page being worth more than some people's house at $300,000. And so then we see, if you want to go to the very end of the most priciest, oldest Bible, we have the Codex Sasson in a Hebrew Bible that is thought to be around 1,000 years old. And it's sold at Sotheby's for, guess what, $38 million. Yes, I said millions. And so I don't know if you have any of these on your bookshelf, but you might want to check, because your world could be changing. Yes, there might be mistakes, and they could be grammar, they could be grave, or they could be worth a ton of money. And so thank you for listening to this episode of Millennial Mission, and may we understand the worth of the Bible and God's Word.